What happens when the internet goes silent for 3 days? Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about it. If the internet stopped working right now, not for a few minutes, not for a glitch, but completely, how long would it take before you feel uncomfortable? Most people don't realize this, but the internet has become something we don't consciously notice anymore. It's like oxygen. You don't think about it until it's gone. And when it goes silent, there is no dramatic warning, no explosion, no sirens, just nothing. In the first few minutes, nobody panics. People assume it's a normal issue. They turn airplane mode on and off. They restart their phones. They unplug routers. Because modern humans are trained to believe that every problem is temporary. We've been conditioned by loading screens, updates, and reconnect buttons. The idea that something might not come back doesn't even enter the mind yet. After about 10 or 15 minutes, something changes. You notice that messaging apps don't send, maps don't load, banking apps refuse to open. And that's when the first question appears. Is it just me? People try calling others. Phone calls still work, but barely. And for the first time, people realize something is not right. They don't actually remember phone numbers anymore. They don't know how to reach people without the internet. This is when anxiety begins. Here's something most people don't know. Your phone can look alive while being completely useless. The screen lights up, apps open, the battery is full. But without the internet, most modern phones are just expensive glass rectangles. No cloud, no verification, no synchronization. Your photos exist, but your world doesn't. After about an hour, people start checking outside. Neighbors step out of their houses, not to talk, just to confirm reality, because humans use other humans as reassurance. And when everyone looks equally confused, something quietly terrifying happens. People realize this isn't a local problem. This is bigger. This is the moment when a dangerous misunderstanding collapses. People think the internet is social media, videos, entertainment. That's not what the internet is. The internet is payment verification, medical data access, logistics coordination, power grid monitoring, emergency dispatch systems. Entertainment disappearing is annoying. Infrastructure disappearing is fatal. By the second or third hour, people try checking their money. Bank apps don't load. Online balances can't be verified. ATMs might still work for a short time, but they rely on back-end systems. Here's the terrifying truth. Your money doesn't exist physically. It exists as permission inside a system. When the system goes silent, your money becomes a rumor. Another quiet realization sets in. People don't remember addresses, directions, appointment times, contact details. We outsourced memory to the internet, and now that memory is gone. This doesn't cause chaos immediately. It causes hesitation. And hesitation spreads faster than panic. Inside homes, conversations change. Children sense something is wrong. People start asking questions they haven't asked in years. What if this doesn't come back today? What if it's longer? What do we do tomorrow? And here's the key detail. Nobody knows who to trust for information anymore. No official updates, no verification, just silence. When information disappears, rumors take its place. Someone heard it's a cyber attack. Someone heard it's a war. Someone heard it's permanent. None of this matters because the damage isn't caused by truth or lies. It's caused by uncertainty. Humans can survive bad news. What they cannot survive calmly is not knowing. Around this time, physical symptoms appear. Headaches, restlessness, chest tightness, not because of danger, but because the brain is overstimulated with no resolution. The internet gave us constant feedback. Now, there is none. This creates psychological pressure humans aren't trained for anymore. As night approaches, something becomes clear. This isn't a glitch. This isn't a short outage. And when darkness comes, the silence feels heavier. People go to sleep without answers. And that's when fear quietly settles in. Not screaming, not panicking, just waiting. People wake up hoping the silence was temporary. The first thing they do is check their phones. Nothing. No notifications. No messages that arrived overnight. No news updates waiting. That moment is heavier than the night before. Because hope quietly expires. This is no longer an inconvenience. It's a situation. Cities still look normal on the surface. Traffic lights still work. Water still flows. Electricity is mostly stable. But beneath that normality, systems are blind. Modern cities depend on real-time data, traffic optimization, power demand balancing, emergency response coordination. Without the internet, cities don't stop. They operate without feedback, and that's dangerous. Hospitals feel the impact early, not because machines stop working, but because information disappears. Doctors can't access cloud-based patient histories, lab result databases, centralized medication records. Everything slows down. Staff rely on handwritten notes again. Care doesn't collapse, but efficiency does. And in healthcare, efficiency saves lives. Pharmacies don't know what's coming next. Inventory systems are offline. Deliveries that were scheduled can't be confirmed. Some medicines are still available. Others become uncertain. People begin visiting multiple pharmacies, searching, not hoarding yet, just checking. This is the early warning sign. By now, digital payments feel unreliable. Cards fail intermittently. Transfers don't go through. Balances can't be verified. Cash suddenly matters again. But here's the problem. Most people don't carry much cash anymore. And businesses don't have enough change. Money still exists, but its authority is gone. Offices open, but nothing functions properly. Cloud documents are inaccessible. Emails are undelivered. Remote work is impossible. People show up physically, but mentally they know this is unsustainable. Employers don't know what to tell workers. Workers don't know what to do. Productivity collapses without drama, just confusion. Governments are used to instant communication, press releases, social media updates, live briefings. Now those channels are gone. The only tools left are television, radio, and physical announcements. Information moves slower. People receive messages late, incomplete, or distorted. Trust erodes, not because governments are lying, but because they sound uncertain. Emergency services still operate, but coordination suffers. Dispatch systems rely on networked databases. Location tracking is limited. Response times increase, not catastrophically, but noticeably. People begin realizing that modern safety depends on invisible systems, and invisible systems are failing. This is where the emotional shift happens. People stop asking when will it come back. They start asking what if it doesn't. This is not panic. It's something colder. Acceptance mixed with fear. Families start planning in silence. There are no riots, but there are arguments over money, over supplies, over decisions. Who gets to leave? Who stays? Who decides? Stress exposes cracks in relationships, not because people are bad, but because uncertainty amplifies pressure. Some neighborhoods cooperate. They share information. They help elderly residents. They stay calm. Other areas withdraw. Shops close early. Suspicion rises. Civilization doesn't collapse evenly. It fractures. The second night is worse than the first, not because anything dramatic happened, but because nothing did. People lie awake listening to silence. No updates, no timelines, no explanations, just waiting. And waiting is exhausting. The third morning doesn't feel like the first two. By now, people are no longer waiting for the internet to return. They are waiting for something bad to happen. When uncertainty lasts too long, the human brain stops asking when and starts asking where. Where is it safest? Where should we go if things get worse? Where will food still exist? Fear becomes directional. And once fear has direction, people begin to move. This is not the kind of panic you see in movies. It's quieter. People buy rice, canned food, water, fuel, not because they were told to, but because everyone else is doing it. Panic spreads through observation. When shelves thin out, even calm people start buying just in case. And just in case is how shortages are born. Fuel stations feel pressure, not because fuel is gone, but because supply chains can't communicate. Deliveries can't be confirmed. Replenishment schedules are unknown. People fill tanks earlier than usual. Some fill containers, not to hoard, but because they don't know when they'll be able to refill again. And once fuel becomes uncertain, movement becomes fear-driven. Cities feel safe when systems work. Police response times, power, water, lighting. By day 3, none of these have failed completely. But people don't trust mostly working. They trust predictable. And unpredictability makes dense populations uncomfortable. The city doesn't feel dangerous. It feels fragile. A dangerous idea spreads through conversation. What if we go back to the village? What if we stay somewhere quieter? What if this turns into something worse? People begin romanticizing rural life. Wells, farms, community, distance from chaos. Safety becomes a location, not a condition. By the afternoon of day 3, movement begins. Families pack cars, not fleeing, relocating. They tell themselves they'll come back when it's over, but nobody knows when over is. Highways grow busier, not jammed, but steady. A slow migration away from uncertainty. This is how cities empty, not suddenly, but gradually. In villages and small towns, something else happens. Unfamiliar cars appear. Stores sell out faster. Water usage increases. Calm begins to crack. Villages are resilient, but not limitless. Safety, once shared too widely, starts to feel scarce. With no internet, rumors become reality. People hear there might be an attack, that this could be intentional, that something bigger is coming. None of this needs to be true. Fear does not require facts. It only requires imagination and time. Society does not collapse. It tightens. Curfews are discussed. Checkpoints appear. Local authorities become more visible. This isn't tyranny, it's anxiety management. But increased control reminds people of one thing: freedom depends on stability, and stability is no longer guaranteed. Exhaustion peaks. People haven't slept properly in days. Every sound feels meaningful. Every delay feels suspicious. Parents watch their children more closely. Adults live in constant alertness. This is not panic. This is chronic fear. And chronic fear reshapes behavior. After 3 long days of silence, imagine this. Your phone vibrates. Notifications flood back in. Messages arrive all at once. News updates refresh. The internet is suddenly back. At first, there is relief. People breathe again. They smile. They think it's over, but it isn't. This isn't the end of the crisis. It's the beginning of chaos. In the next video, I'm going to explore what happens after the internet comes back, how people behave, what systems change permanently, and why some things never return to the way they were before. If you want to understand that future, you'll find the next video right here. And if you found this meaningful, consider subscribing so you don't miss what comes next. If there's any scenario or question you want me to explore, leave it in the comments below. Your question might become the next video. Until then, stay aware.